Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the SOULKATION podcast. I am your host, Logan Renee. Today, we're going to talk about the pettiness in friendships. Okay? The pettiness that we have in friendships. Just thinking about the friendships I currently have and the ones that I've lost, pettiness played a major role. So definitely speaking from experience on today. Okay. A couple of things that keeps pettiness alive in our friendships is when multiple people get involved, multiple people have stuff to say. I talk about this and why women can't get along, part 1. So make sure you all check that episode out. Also, when a lot of time passes and the issues aren't addressed, you start stuffing stuff under the cover, and then you look up and you're like, girl, what's that? All this stuff hidden under your bed, that's usually what happens when we don't have the conversation or go ahead and address some stuff, and it festers. Also, there is so much power in there's so much power and influence in our tone and how we say stuff. And that can really, really take pettiness to another level, because it's like, why are you talking to me like that? Or, why'd you get an attitude about that? And it just turns into something way quicker if we just would adjust it, how we said it. So here's a cure to eliminating pettiness and knowing who should be in your camp. A lot of times why pettiness stays alive is because some people aren't supposed to stay in your camp. Some people are not supposed to remain friends or go on a life journey with you. And sometimes we have a hard time letting people go. We'll talk about that in another episode. But sometimes pettiness reveals a lot of stuff. And it doesn't matter how many come to Jesus conversations you have. Sometimes that person's just not supposed to remain somebody that's on your front row. And that's in the book. What's the name of that book by Sophia Nelson? Oh, The Woman Code. She talks about your front row. Some people are not supposed to be in your front row. And that means some people are supposed to be on the 12th row, the 8th row, or they're supposed to be back and on out into the door, But anyway, so how are you going to eliminate pettiness and see who's supposed to be in your camp? Number 1, ask yourself, what kind of friend do you want to be? And expect nothing more than that. Ask yourself, what kind of friend do I want to be? Like, what kind of friend do you want to be? And then expect nothing more than that. So if you're the type of friend that does extra stuff for all your friends for their birthday, cool. But at the same time, people like that get hurt a lot on their birthday, because as hard as they're willing to go for other people aren't willing to do the same for them, and it definitely should be an eye-opener. Or if you're that type of person that, expects Beyonce to be flown in for your birthday, but then you just get somebody a Hallmark card for their birthday, it's like, hold on now, that level of expectation is not the exact same. And I don't know why we burden our friends with our expectations. It's stupid heavy to have to carry the expectations of the people when they got a cap on what they're willing to do. Like the expectation and the level of what you're willing to do and serve in your friendship should be the exact same. And I think that's where a lot of confusion comes, a lot of pettiness comes, because the expectation is not the same. My friends and I have talked about expectations when it comes to birthdays, baby showers, gifts. We had to go ahead and set those boundaries in place because it was starting to get a little bit crazy. And you do have to talk about this stuff because it can get petty and sticky real fast, real fast. That's number 1. Number 2, and this kind of bleeds down from number 1, reciprocation. In 2015, I did a friend binge. So I had cliques and cliques of different friends, people I would throw house parties with, people I would go on trips with, just cliques of people. And I was like, I'm not calling anybody. I had just lost my mom to breast cancer. I had just got out of a situationship. I was about to enter into another relationship, which was a lot. And I was in a state by myself, no friends, no family members to go to, nobody close by. Everybody I knew I would have to get on a plane to go see. So it was a lot going on. So I just wanted to see who was riding for me, who was down for me, loyalty, trust, rejection. I was battling all those things. So I just wanted to see who was down for me. And I lost a lot of friends that year, which was cool because I needed to see who had my back or who if it wasn't for me, we wouldn't be friends. Because I was the person always reaching out. I was the person always calling. You know, I was the person investing in a relationship. So a lot of times, the greatest thing that we can give a friendship is a test, just to see who's rocking with you. If you didn't call that person, if you didn't stop by their house, if you didn't invite them to lunch or dinner, would y'all still be friends? You know, sometimes reciprocation is it has to be tested. There's no way that you'll know for sure if it's not tested in some type of way, just to see who's loyal to you. And I'm happy that I did that. And there's some people that are still mad that we haven't talked since then. And it's crazy because it's like, well, you still haven't called me. You can't be too sad and you can't be too bothered, child, because you haven't called or texted me either. You know, you have made no effort. But I'm gonna go back to the first point because it's super important. If that's not what matters to you, don't make it matter to you right now because I'm saying something about it. It's really about asking yourself, what kind of friend do I want to be? And can I be that friend for other people? For me, in my house, I can't consider you a best friend and I only know that you're still on this earth because of social media. If I only know that you're still alive through social media, I can't consider you a friend. I consider you somebody that's on social media that I know. Like, it may seem harsh, but that's just the truth. The type of friends I need in my corner are people who actually care about, you know, living life with me, not living social media life with me. Does that make sense? So ask yourself, what kind of friend do I need? What kind of friends do I need in my life? And can I be that for other people? That's how you keep pettiness out the friendship, because you know who's rocking with you. You know who you're rocking with. And it's solid. Number 3, I would say to keep pettiness out of friendship, this is stupid important. I don't know why I'm using that word so much today. Where did I even get that from? Anyway, I would say talk about what's off limits. This is so important. Talk about what some men are off limits. You can't tell them about their man. Don't bring up their man. Like Candy is a perfect example on Real Housewives. Don't say nothing about her man, okay? Another example that happened to Housewives of Atlanta. It's so funny because Iyanla Vanzant said, I get so much content from watching reality TV. And I was against it for a long time, but she is so right. It's literally so much content you can get from it. Anyway, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Nene said to Cynthia, and y'all, this is another sidebar. When I'm watching TV, I'm taking notes. I'm like, ooh, I can use this on this episode. I can talk about this on Facebook Live. I talk about it on stage. Literally use TV now as content. It's hilarious. Anyway, Nene and Cynthia are on a show called Real Housewives of Atlanta, and they were supposed to be like super besties, best friends, right? And Nene says to Cynthia's husband, stop acting like a bee. She calls him the B word. And most women would pop off if you call their husbands the B word. So maybe there should be something that's a conversation with your friends now, like, yo, don't come out, don't talk to my man sideways, don't be cussing at him, you know, especially if y'all going on couple trips and stuff like that. Might need to be a prior conversation so you won't even get to the drama or get to the pettiness or get, you know, a lot of times people want their spouses or people in their relationships to be cool because y'all gonna be hanging out together. So some of those conversations are gonna have to pop off sooner or later. Kids may be off limits. How you raise your kids at the Christian school and they doing prayer service every 12 seconds may not be your friend's way of having them listen to R&B, hip hop, and they know, you know, when we buy Tank. You know, that might need to be a conversation. How we raise our kids or how we raise our kids, they're separate. Keep your opinion to yourself. You know, how someone spends their money. That's huge. Like, if a person doesn't want to go on your birthday trip, don't be mad because they choose to go to Miami in 2 weeks. Or if that is something that bothers you and you want to know or understand why, there's nothing wrong with having the conversation. At the same time, I think as friends, counting people money is a no-go. Like, if she wanted to take the money you gave her and she went to the club, then that's what she did. Like, after the money leaves your hand, you really can't say nothing about it. At the same time, just have a conversation when it comes to counting other people's coins. And 9 times out of 9, people don't want you worried about if they spend money on earrings and a jacket. Like, that's their money. That's the money they went and worked for. So money can be a really, really touchy subject. It's definitely a touchy subject. Anyway, Rick, the resource for this week is A Woman's Code, the one I was talking about earlier. The author, Sophia Nelson. It's so good. When she started talking about that front row, y'all, please read that chapter. Like, amazing book. But the resource for this week is called The Woman Code by Sophia Nelson. Thanks again for tuning in to the SOULKATION podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you rate it 5 stars on all the podcast apps, as well as leave a review. Because of the comments and things that people have said about the show, this show is overseas. Like, we have subscribers across the world now, which is crazy to me. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. So keep helping me continue to get this show in front of as many amazing women as possible, even men who listen to the show. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like it and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all on the next video. Thanks again. Bye.